What's cracking, Jump Nation family? It's your boy here, Rushy S, aka the Jump Rope Coach. In today's video, we are addressing a big issue right now. Okay, get a lot of questions. Ask me why I don't do freestyle, why I don't do releases with my skipping ropes, why I don't do shuffling, and we're going to basically go over that in today's video. I got 5 reasons why I do not do freestyle and why I will probably never do freestyle. Okay, so point number 1 is rope length. Now, from what I've seen and how I've been taught and, just watching it, right? A lot of freestylers out there, majority of them, okay, not every single one of them, okay, but majority of them have a shorter rope length. Now, if you watch my videos, you already know that I appear to have a very long rope, and this is just kind of something that has, I guess, kind of fitted my style. So the first point being rope length is when you do freestyle, when you do things like, especially like releases, which we'll go into in a separate point in itself, when you're doing this kind of shuffling or this dance rope style, having a shorter rope helps, okay, because it allows the rope to have more speed. When you're doing releases, when Lauren was teaching me as well, and when Mira back in the day, you need to have a sort of shorter rope, because if it's too long, it's just going to hit the floor when it's kind of like spinning around you, right? So naturally, for me, I don't like and have that comfort of having that shorter rope, or it kind of just coming over the top of my head or clearing my head like with millimeters. I kind of need to make sure that my arm position, how it sort of fits my body, and wrist positioning, it kind of just would just not work, which is why I just tend not to do it, because you need to cut that rope or keep it short. So I kind of like that feel of having a longer rope, having the arcs looking a little bit more different, because it fits my body type, fits my kind of positioning. And that's pretty much the reasoning regarding rope length, which is really important when it comes to freestyle. Lead on to point number 2, which is kind of like how the jumps and how the knees look for most freestylers. And I know this is, again, the majority that I've seen, not every single person, but when they are kind of executing kind of the moves that I tend to do, like double under crossovers or any kind of those kind of high power kind of really fitness oriented kind of moves, they tend to kind of have a tiny bit more knee flex because the rope is shorter. It's just a natural thing that's going to happen, because if you imagine my rope's a little bit longer, and because my arms are back, elbows are back, I just have that space, right? So I don't need to flex my knees. When you have a shorter rope, if you're going to kind of execute these moves like a double or a triple under, for example, they tend to sort of have this knee flex, and for me, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Number 1 is really just, I'm just trying to protect my joints, and I always know that if you're going to flex your knees and you're going to come down after flexing your knees, it's going to be a more harsher impact. Some people may disagree, but for me, you can stay on the balls of your feet even if you are flexing your knees. However, for me, the aesthetics of it personally, I just know with the shorter rope length and what I've seen out there, they tend to, when they do these kind of moves that I tend to do, they do have this knee flex, which I really try and stay away from or try and avoid. Number 3 is body flexibility. Now, there's videos of me out there on the internet, especially when I went to go meet Mira. She tried to teach me kind of like a few different moves where you kind of raise your leg up and do a crossover like underneath your knee, if that makes sense. I don't know the name of that move. There's kind of crosses where people are kind of like squatting down low and like kind of like their heads near to the floor, all this kind of crazy stuff, and it looks epic, right? I have to say, like when people do it and they do it like correctly, obviously these freestylers are insane. For me, my body just does not allow it. I've had 2 hip operations already in my short life, and it just doesn't work for me. My arms don't stretch around my back how it does. And yeah, a lot of people will move to long-handed kind of long handle ropes, right? Especially like most of the freestylers, when they use the sort of long handle, it gives them that kind of flexibility to get their arms around the back a lot more and do these kind of crazy crossovers. But again, I like to kind of stick to the speed rope, the shorter handle, and yeah, my body just does not allow me to do most of these kind of like insane tricks that you see out there. Point number 4 is releases. Now, I wanted to make releases like its own little segment, okay? Now, a lot of freestyle is based around releases, in my opinion. Like a lot of the combinations, I feel like once someone does a really freaking sick release, and it's like in combination or it's in motion, like it's nothing stutters or anything, like it does look really sick. For me, there's 2 points to this, right? Number 1, I just love the feel of the rope in my hand. If that kind of makes sense. Like I love just the connection. It sounds kind of like deep, but it's a reason why I don't even wear trainers most of the time, because I love that connection with my feet on the floor, rope in my hands, and naturally, like when I'm training, right, I've used this tool obviously as a bit of an expression, a bit of art, and I always say like you want to have fun with it. But when I'm training, like I don't really want to be messing around with just getting these releases and missing it, or if I'm in the gym and it like kind of flying around the place. even if you were an expert, you are naturally at some point gonna not catch it, right? Or you're not gonna catch the handle where you want it to go. And that's nice and it's cool if you're training by yourself. But me, when I take the rope in the gym or wherever I am, I just like that connection with the rope and how it feels for my combinations and my kind of rhythm and timing and things like that. So having it kind of come out of my hand, and it just doesn't fit my style. So it's not like I've tried it or I've tried to practice it. I just naturally, from my aesthetics point of view as well, from my own flow, I just don't think it's going to work. And it kind of leads back to point number one, which is rope length. And it just won't work because my rope is naturally a lot more longer. So you're not going to see any releases on this channel. Sorry guys. We're definitely gonna get Lauren Jumps as well back here, so she can kind of showcase more of those kind of tutorials and help you guys out a lot more. Point number 5 now, rattling through these guys, is a lot of the freestylers, they move very, very fast, right? We mentioned the rope length being kind of shorter. The power or the sort of speed really comes from these wrist actions that they make, right? And we've already talked about how my arms kind of fit a bit more different, but sort of tempo and the sort of speed of how these wrists move again feels uncomfortable for me. Like my kind of tempo of footwork is more along the kind of boxer kind of level, kind of boxer style, very much kind of I like to call it chill. There's times obviously where you see me going faster and really putting in the kind of speed, but for them, when they're doing their footwork and their shuffles or the kind of dance steps, that wrist rotation, the way it kind of moves, it does different things with the arcs, and it does different things for when they're making combinations. So for me, it just doesn't work just using the wrist like that. The wrist positions won't be in the right place for me. I don't like spinning it that fast, and I don't like my feet actually moving that fast unless I'm doing like a run skip or something like that. A lot of my speed comes from naturally the whipping action of the rope, so like a fast crossover or a double under crossover or like these really fast southpaws. It's more of a kind of comfort or kind of like a feel. And yeah, this is a bit of a fun video, right? Like I'm not trying to bash on freestylers. I'm actually trying to promote the fact that there's so many different styles out there, and that is wicked when people actually are like, you know, learning so many different styles. But for me, this is what feels comfortable. This is what I enjoy most. This is what I always get the most out of when I'm doing my kind of like training. So hopefully that kind of clears up any reasonings behind why I don't do any freestyle, or you know, is it I'm scared or I'm not good enough or I don't want to, I hate it. It's not none of those reasons. It's literally, you know, skipping is an art form. Everyone has their own way of doing it. Everyone has their own style, and whatever you guys are doing out there, just make it fun, make it as cool as possible. We want to make cardio epic. And big up to all the freestylers out there pushing the game. If you guys enjoyed this video or this style of video, we're just kicking it back here in the RA Lounge. We're gonna be doing a lot more of these kind of videos as well in the future. So guys, drop a like for this video and drop me a comment, man. Let me know if you have any other topics that you'd like me to cover, and we'll get it done right in this spot. I kind of like this kind of chill setup. Hopefully you guys like it as well. So I'll see you in the next video. Just take care of yourself. Skip the treadmill. Stay safe. Peace.
Was the knight in shining armor in your movie? Would put your lips on mine and love the aftertaste now.